Welcome to SPHS News. I'm Ashara Allen, and today we have a special report in regards to the separation between church and state. It is written in history that the founding fathers of America were staunch Christians. They were devoted in worshiping their God in the free time they had when they weren't mastering their slaves. The laws that were passed then were a clear reflection of their religious values, particularly the laws involving women and other minorities at the time. The rights of many American citizens were suppressed, but through vigorous advocacy, the government finally changed to accommodate. To me, it seems as if history is repeating itself because, newsflash, ladies and gentlemen, the rich white old men are still in office and they're putting all kinds of restrictions on our rights yet again. It is apparent that a number of laws being passed in the U.S. today are on the basis of religious beliefs of the majority in office, and it's one religion in particular, Christianity, which can leave the public with questions like, is the separation between church and state under threat? Is it still even there? What exactly does the separation of church and state mean? Well, it's the principle that the government must maintain an attitude of neutrality toward religion. Some may say this is a requirement by the First Amendment, which allows citizens to practice any religion of their choice, but it also prevents the government from recognizing and favoring any religion. But to me, that doesn't seem like the case. There are many instances I've noticed over the years involving laws created by the government that I believe are in clear violation of the separation between church and state. One minor example is the Pledge of Allegiance we were taught at such a young age. We were taught to pledge it along with the other students in class, regardless of your religion. The line, "One nation under God," itself seems like a violation. Whose God exactly? My God? Your God? What if you don't have a God? We were taught this at such a young age, we were so unaware of the fact that we had a choice. There are other issues that play on a larger scale, like the restrictions on abortion and the allowance of discrimination against those of the LGBTQ community. But where do these ideas and beliefs originate? It is obvious. Religion. A wider separation is in fact necessary, because it is unfair to those who aren't religious. It is unfair to those who can't choose who they are. It is unfair that they are subject to hate and at risk of losing their jobs because a certain religion that a certain legislative official believes in disagrees with who they are. The first source is an article written by a Rabbi Dennis S. Ross called Congress, Abortion, and the Separation of Church and State. His main idea is the fact that the abortion debate is in fact a debate over the separation of church and state. It starts with Representative Danny Lipinski, a Democrat from Illinois who is also a Roman Catholic, saying that he listens to the arguments of the bishops and priests in his district, but not their opinions in regards on immigration, but their opinions in regards to abortion. He believes that the bishops, they don't know enough about immigration. They're just there to inform us. But on abortion, when the bishops speak authoritatively, he is required to follow. Lipinski sees nothing wrong with exploiting a public office by enshrining his understanding of his faith. And he's not the only one. During the Affordable Care Act debates of 2010, former Representative Dale Kidley, a Democrat in Michigan, eventually supported the bill, but not only after his parish priest's reassurance that a vote for the measure would not jeopardize his place in the hereafter, meaning it wouldn't jeopardize his place in heaven. Quoted from the New York Times. I will be 81 years old in September. Certainly at this point in my life, I'm not going to change my mind and support abortion, and I'm not going to risk my eternal salvation. Thank you. As a rabbi, I feel strongly as any religious leader about my faith and national policy, but in contrast to the bishops and others, clergy from many different denominations uphold the morality in protecting women as they make decisions about their bodies and their health in consultation with their doctors and anyone else to whom they decide to speak, loved ones, trusted friends, counselors, or clergy. We believe that once a woman decides she should be able to get the medical care she believes is right for her. Judaism, along with other faiths, affirm that a woman's pregnancy has a normal standing, but her moral standing and her ability to come to an informed conclusion holds higher ground. What's more, as a pastor, I can say that women approach this decision seriously, as seriously as you or I might approach any significant decision. What is more, I know that when a woman is convinced that her pregnancy is not right for her, she will do whatever she needs to do to end it. And no sermon will convince her otherwise. So there is great wisdom in respecting her decision and ensuring that abortion stays legal and women get safe care. We religious people disagree about all kinds of things, including God, the Bible, the public policy, like everybody else. But we have a right to inform the public. But none of us speaks so authoritatively that policymakers must automatically honor our demands. Rather, in a land where religion and faith are separate as they should be, Congress should not play religious favorites by elevating the teachings of any one faith, in this case, the most restrictive, or their own, above the teachings or conscience of others. Instead, policymakers are to establish an atmosphere that allows competing and conflicting religious interpretations to stand side by side. To protect men and women as they honor faith and conscience, determine the course of their lives, and plan their families. What is more, as Lipinski, Kildee, and Sputnik must know, their bishops do not represent their faithful. Catholic women rely on birth control and legal abortion in roughly the same proportions as everyone else. The debate about abortion is really a debate about the relationship between religion and government. Abortion opponents are open to their intentions to trample church-state boundaries. It would be wise to take their threats at face value and recognize that they have sway. It would be equally wise to protect women as they come to their own conclusion and receive medical care. Thank you. Thank you, Rabbi. Matter of fact, I agree with every single word he just said. To reiterate, I believe it is a woman's choice to choose whether or not she should have an abortion, regardless of her religious beliefs, regardless of her background, regardless of the religious beliefs of those in charge. I believe that when Congress and any lawmakers enforce these kinds of restrictions in regards to abortion or LGBT-related issues, I believe that they are pushing their religion onto the public, and I believe it is in clear violation of the separation between church and state. It is unfair to many who aren't religious, and it is unfair in general to limit and restrict and allow discrimination to happen in this country. Thank you, Rabbi. You made an excellent point. Next, we have a report by BBC News about the U.S. states that have passed religious-related laws, many of which directly affect the LGBT community. First on the list is Arkansas. The Governor Asa Hutchinson passed SB 975, which aims to keep religious exercise from being substantially burdened by the government. Opponents of this bill just say that it discriminates against gay people. In Florida, House Bill 43, which allows clergymen and religious organizations to refuse to marry people if it violates a sincerely held religious belief. In Georgia, Governor Nathan Deal vetoed a bill that would keep the government from penalizing organizations that refuse to employ, provide services, or allow the use of facilities because of a sincerely held religious belief. And it also protects clergy who would not perform same-sex marriages. In Kansas, before Senate Bill 175 was passed, colleges and universities were allowed to deny student groups funding because they require their members to follow certain religious beliefs or conduct. In Mississippi, the governor of Mississippi, Phil Bryant, signed Bill HB 1523 that allows businesses to refuse service to gay couples based on religious beliefs. He said the bill protects sincerely held religious beliefs and moral convictions. Protesters say that the bill would just allow for lawful discrimination of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. Churches, religious charities, and private businesses can use the law to legally not serve people whose lifestyle they agree with. It also ensures that anyone who wishes to establish sex-specific standards for restrooms and dressing rooms are free to do so, and that sex-specific dress codes can be set. In Oklahoma, clergy and other officials do not have to perform same-sex marriages or offer marriage counseling in the state to those who violate their religious beliefs. You could all argue that it endorses religious freedom, but when you take the power away from the minority and give it all to the oppressor, there's no form of freedom involved, just hate. And these laws encourage hate, discrimination against actual people, people who reside in the states, people who are just here to make a living. It is obvious there was a pattern in each and every one of these laws that were passed. The use of the words sincerely held religious beliefs were just used as an excuse to discriminate against people. Why is this legal? I honestly am just confused. How is it legal for the government officials to deny citizens of the United States their literal rights because of sincerely held religious beliefs? You can go on and on about how America is this amazing country, but when you have this many states encouraging hate and discrimination just because of something that they disagree with, you can't say good things about America. Not anymore. Because as far as I'm concerned, America is anything but great.